العلا FM.
Hello, everybody. We have with us the founder of the International Coffee Week in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, editor-in-chief of Arabic coffee magazine, Arabica, engineer Mohammed Bakharibah. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. How are you today?
I'm doing great. So I have a list here of questions. However, before we get into them, I want to ask some of my own questions, if you don't mind, Engineer Mohammed.
Absolutely.
So please tell me about Saudi coffee and what is the history of Saudi coffee?
Well, there's a huge legacy and history around the Saudi coffee when it started back in the 8th century in Mecca. And when the history was, it was prohibited actually to drink coffee back in the days. And then a Shazali who started boiling coffee for the first time in Mecca, and the purpose of it was to spend the night reciting Quran and getting around Quran and discussing social stuff. The history of coffee is to bring people together and to enjoy, and it's very interesting to see up to today, coffee brings people together. It started from being a place where people come and discuss and recite Quran to a social club, I would say, where people come and talk about general topics. This is the whole thing about Saudi coffee. We go and sit in Saudi coffee saloons and we talk about general stuff. You can see the same thing happened in Europe, but in Saudi Arabia, it's still the same.
Absolutely. There's entire rooms dedicated to Saudi coffee in Saudi homes. Yeah. Yes, the Mugallat and the Mishab, the place where they light the fire, and the place they have tea and coffee, the majalis, they're all dedicated. You feel like it's like a temple of coffee. It's just a place where people really take their coffee seriously. And the interesting thing, Engineer Mohammed, as you know, coffee, botanically speaking, coffee is, most coffee in the world is from the plant Caffea arabica. The Arab heritage is built into coffee.
Yeah, the title, the name was named after the region. So Arabica, it's referred to where it grows. Arabica, as you just mentioned, goes back to the region of the Arab world. And of course, there are two types of two breeds of coffee. But Arabica is small in size, rich in flavor, and more caffeine in it.
All right. Can you tell us a little bit about some unconventional uses of coffee beyond consumption as a beverage?
Oh yeah, there are too many uses of coffee, to be honest. We can see coffee in cosmetics, for example, see it in perfumery, in culinary, and now in fashion. So there are too many different uses of coffee, and people normally don't, we all know coffee for as a drink, but you can see it in the kitchen. You see it in preparing sauces and steaks. You see it at household services, so plantation, for example. Also, we see it now, and cosmetics has been there for quite some time, to be honest, but world-class perfume names use coffee as a base for the note. And also, as I mentioned, because coffee has the ability to remove odors, so they put it now not only in perfumes, but also in the fashion. So the fabric contains fibers from coffee.
Amazing. Sir, we want to know something that you are particularly passionate about, which is jazz and coffee. Could you explain a little bit more?
Oh, yeah. Normally when you take a cup of coffee, you'd like to chill, to relax, to focus, perhaps to study, to work, and you need this space, right? So what better will be with coffee but jazz? So it takes you to absolutely parallel world, if I may, that you can do whatever you wish in peace. So coffee and jazz is just phenomenal. Try it.
I will try it. Actually, no, in Christmas time in America, this is a very popular thing to do, is to wake up in the morning and listen to jazz music and drink coffee.
Right. And Jeddah, jazz is very interesting. I know our context here is coffee, but jazz and coffee is also a very interesting topic.
Well, it's perfect because we're the radio.
Well, always, go together. They just swing, if I may, in harmony.
I completely agree. Engineer Mohammed, tell me, please, can coffee be used for household purposes? If so, what are some interesting applications?
Well, actually, plantation, this is something that recyclability of coffee. So we always can recycle or reuse the coffee, the grind coffee for plantation. This is something that Saudi Arabia now is towards or pushing towards green Saudi and advocate for having your own plants at home or the garden so you can really recycle the coffee because coffee has calcium in it and has other vitamins. So it's very, very important for the
So it's like being used as a potting medium or like a fertilizer almost.
Fertilizer, yeah. Well, to be a fertilizer, it needs up to 90 days to be a perfect fertilizer. But yeah, the basic idea is just to use it for your plantation and it's very healthy.
What about coffee being utilized in beauty and personal care? I mean, we talked a little bit about coffee being used in perfume, but what about personal care and beauty products?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we find a lot of masks that are used by coffee, but generally speaking, it's very healthy for your skin. Putting coffee mask, perhaps with, for instance, egg or yogurt, it's very healthy for the skin and really bring you bright to your skin. So I totally recommend that. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, because coffee have this interesting character to observe, they put coffee inside the fridge just in case if there's any bad odor to just observe it.
Absolutely. It's like it soaks up the bad smells, perhaps.
Right.
Amazing.
Right.
Engineer Mohammed, this was a beautiful interview. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Al-Ula FM, the sound of Arabia.